Πρόσωπος της Επιτροπής και της Ομοσπονδίας των Ελλήνων Φοιτητών των Ηνωμένων Πολιτειών της Αμερικής, το National Hellenic Student Association of North America, ο κύριος Κώστας Ουρανίτσας.
Κώστα!
Γεια σας. My name is Konstantinos Ouranitsas, Chairman of the National Hellenic Student Association of North America, and I'm happy to be with you today to stand for our homeland and remind you of our values. Philoxenia, philanthropia, philotimo. They're not just hospitality, philanthropy, and doing the right thing. They're not just punchlines or taglines. They're a way of life in Greece. They're values passed on to us not from our school education, but from the pedia we receive from our parents and our grandparents. The residents of the Eastern Aegean Islands, of Chios, Lesbos, Samos, Kos, and many more exemplify these values for more than 5 years since the migration crisis has grown, waned, and resurged. They were nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. They were written about in Times Magazine, the New York Times, Washington Post. From the late Dionysios Arvanitakis, the renowned baker of Kos, to the 3 grandmothers of Lesbos, and many more unnamed tireless people who fought day in and day out to provide some comfort, some human dignity, basic needs of food and water, clothing and cleanliness, to the refugees and migrants who have fled and endured soul-wrenching tragedies. A good friend and former president of NHSA, Alexander Thomopoulos, visited Chios for close to a month in 2016 at the height of the crisis. He worked in the emergency room of the hospital where the locals and refugees came. There's nothing that hurts us more than to see people like us, like our parents, like our grandparents, like our younger siblings, with a life and education similar to ours, fleeing in fear of terror or death. But he was only there for a month, and many of us have not gone at all, but the residents never leave. They never got a break from the wave of migrants who came, and over the years there are more people from Afghanistan, Pakistan, Libya, and more. If it is a refugee or migrant, for the Greeks it didn't matter. They still felt the pull to provide philoxenia, philanthropia, and philotimo. That's the sad part. If they were given more, they would. They've been neglected by the governments in Athens. They've been forgotten by the international press, and they felt the pressure of 10 years of financial austerity. But most of all, they've grown tired of helping others at their own expense, at their children's expense, sacrificing their way of life. The government of Athens sent hundreds of police officers to force the locals to accept the creation of detention centers for the migrants. Neither the migrants nor locals wanted this. Turkey has refused to discuss further with Greece or the EU to come up with a solution. But the solution is not busing them to the Greek-Turkish border at Evros. It is not enabling traffickers to cross the sea in dinghies and inflatable boats to the Greek islands. This creates instability, dangerous conditions for the migrants, and unbearable costs to the locals. What Turkey is doing, put best by the Greek government spokesperson, is asymmetric warfare. It doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican, young or old, fresh off the plane, 4th generation, or married into a Greek family. We must make ourselves heard in Washington. That there are thousands of us that believe America should take a stand, defending the rules of law, protecting human rights, and preserving the peace. That the crisis affecting Greece will not go unnoticed or unattended. That the burden that Greece has been carrying is not hers to carry alone, and that Erdogan cannot use migrants as a weapon or bully Greece, the EU, or the United States. We call on all of you, the Hellenic youth, and the community at large, to contact your senators, sign the petitions created by HALC or AHEPA or any other national Greek organization to be sent to the Secretary of State, the President, and other elected officials, to show support that we are united and determined to defend what is right. Σας ευχαριστώ.